Experience the miraculous. 7 days of divine healing and prophetic morning prayers revealed. In the heart of a quaint English village, where the rolling hills seemed to cradle the very spirit of life, a collective heartache loomed over the community. For Mary, a mother of unshakable faith, every dawn was a plea for a miracle as her young son, Jacob, battled a cruel sickness deemed incurable by the doctors. Each day, like a thunderclap, the weight of despair echoed through the cobblestone streets, stealing hope from the villagers' hearts. Yet within this darkness, a sacred beacon flickered, an invitation to their historic church, an opportunity for divine intervention. The church stood as a sentinel of faith, its ancient stones imbued with whispers of miraculous healings past. Experience the miraculous. The words echoed in Mary's mind, urging her toward the prophetic morning prayers led by the beloved Pastor John, whose voice carried the weight of prayer like a weighty mantle. Driven by this divine call, Mary rose before dawn, her heart full of determination to rally her neighbors. As the sun's first light kissed the earth, they gathered, hands clasped tightly, voices woven together like a rich tapestry. Each prayer soared upward, a fragrant offering rising to heaven, each amen a declaration of faith in the face of adversity. The aroma of burning candles filled the air, bright flames flickering like their hopes. The choruses of hymns wrapped around them, infusing the sacred space with a sublime intensity. But as the week unfolded, fear began to creep in. Jacob's condition took a turn for the worse, and Mary's heart was heavy with uncertainty. Amidst the prayers, she wrestled with a gnawing doubt coiling around her faith. Could God still operate in such darkness? Moments of despair slipped into every whispered prayer. Still, the community held their ground, their hands and hearts entwined in trust. Then, one night, as the storms raged outside, tearing through the sky with a ferocity that mirrored Mary's turmoil, a profound moment of divine clarity washed over her. Her anguish transformed into a revelation. She was struck with a conviction that God's might was on the move. "This is it," she murmured, as if awakening from a deep slumber. Could it be that heaven was about to intervene? With renewed fervor, Mary led her neighbors in a powerful chorus of prayer. The energy crackled in the air like electricity, a palpable force of unity rising as one. A sacred anticipation hung in the room, infused with assurance that a miracle was nearing. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue the storm as fury raged outside as Mary and the villagers knelt in devotion. Suddenly, through the tumult, a wild flash of lightning illuminated the church, casting shadows that danced like spirits across the walls. A hush filled the air thick with expectancy. It was in that moment, as they held on to their faith, something extraordinary happened. Jacob stirred, a peaceful light enveloping him, and an inexplicable transformation began. As laughter and joyous cries erupted throughout the village, Mary stood witness to a divine spectacle, her heart ablaze with gratitude. The love of God burst forth, reshaping their despair into awe. They were present in a powerful testament to faith and healing, and yet, amidst the jubilation, Mary felt a stirring. What deeper purpose had been ordained? As hearts soared with joy, a thread of uncertainty whispered within her spirit what awaited them next. The village had witnessed the miraculous, but what was brewing just beyond the horizon? In the presence of the divine? The journey of faith was just beginning. With the morning sun pouring through the stained glass windows, casting a kaleidoscope of colors on the floor, Mary's heart sang with the echoes of joy that filled the church. Jacob was awake, smiling as if the weight of the world had rolled off his frail shoulders. His laughter, light and pure, collided with the old stones, reverberating through the hearts of all who gathered. Tears mingled with laughter as villagers embraced, joy spreading like wildfire. Men and women, young and old, found themselves swept up in an extraordinary wave of gratitude. It felt as if the very breath of God had entered the room, awakening every spirit with renewed hope. Yet even amid this jubilation, Mary sensed a deeper calling lurking just beyond the joyful surface. As she watched Jacob play, her heart was full yet questioning. The miracle she sought had unfolded, but now she wondered, was this healing merely the beginning? What purpose did God have for her family now? Pastor John, sensing the weight of her unspoken worries, approached her with a compassionate smile. "Sometimes, dear sister," he said softly, "the greatest miracles lead us into deeper waters of faith." That evening, when twilight wrapped the village in a gentle embrace, Mary was lost in thought, gazing out at the hills where light met the shadows. Could her son's healing inspire those in despair? Could it ignite a flame in hearts that had long been dimmed? Days turned into a week, and much of the village thrived under a wave of hope. Still, Mary couldn't shake the feeling that they were being called to something greater. During their nightly prayer meetings, she led with fresh vigor. Each prayer was a fervent offering, each word a powerful declaration to God, crafting an atmosphere ripe for divine presence. The community leaned into her spirit, hungry for the extraordinary. One evening, as the gathered crowd clasped their hands tightly in prayer, an unearthly stillness enveloped them. It was as if time had paused, each heartbeat thrumming against the silence that echoed their longing. Suddenly, the wind began to swirl around them, rustling the trees beyond the church, almost whispering secrets into the night air. Mary's breath caught in her throat as a warm glow flickered at the edge of her vision. Her heart quickened. Was it the Spirit? Was he here in their midst? "Lift your voices," shouted Pastor John, his words filled with authority and tenderness. "Call upon him who is mighty. The Lord hears our cries. He is among us." The villagers erupted, fervent in their prayer, the sound rising like incense into the heavens. And then, from the corner of the church, a young girl named Lily, barely 10, stepped forward, her small frame trembling with excitement. "I can feel him," she declared, her voice clear and unwavering. "He is here. He wants us to step deeper in faith." A hush fell as they turned to witness the innocent determination in her eyes. In that moment, Mary felt a surge of hope, the deep kind that wrote promises across her spirit. The village had experienced a miracle of healing, yet here stood a reminder the journey of faith was layered with deeper revelations yet unfurling. "Lord, what do you want us to do?" she whispered, her heart fully open now. But the answer lingered just beyond reach. What were they meant to pursue next? As they prayed fervently into the night, stars began to twinkle fiercely in response, as if the entire universe itself waited with bated breath. Perhaps the real miracle was not just the healing they had witnessed, but a fresh awakening calling them to share and spread this divine hope beyond their village, a mission unfulfilled just as it was beginning to unfold. What awaited them on this path? The journey was only just beginning. As dawn broke the next day, the village seemed awash in a golden light, painting everything in hues of grace. Mary awoke with renewed resolution flooding her heart. Jacob's laughter still echoed in her mind, each giggle a reminder of the joy found in healing and rebirth. She dressed quickly, driven by an inescapable urge to gather the village once again. This time, she felt a deeper purpose. They were not merely to celebrate the miracle they had received, but to prepare for the next chapter of their journey in faith. The church welcomed her as she stepped inside, its sacred walls standing strong and steady, filled with the warmth of shared spirit. She lit a candle at the altar, its flickering flame reminding her of their collective hope. Gathering the villagers, she spoke with fervor, her voice trembling with the weight of divine potential. "Brothers and sisters, our joyful hearts have been lifted. But what if God is calling us to stretch those hearts even further? Isn't our mission to carry this light into the shadows beyond our village?" Soft murmurs filled the room as the villagers exchanged glances heavy with curiosity. They felt the spark, a stirring of something greater than mere happiness. Old echoes of doubt lingered, but the air was thick with anticipation like thunder rumbling in the distance, ready to break forth. Pastor John stepped forward, sensing their enthusiasm. "We have witnessed a miracle. We must not be content to remain here. God has given us grace to act. Let us take this gospel of healing to the neighboring villages, those who suffer in silence. Let us carry his love to those waiting to know him." A whisper of agreement swept through the crowd. Excitement kindled as people began to speak. Some remembered friends in need, others shared stories of losses that had dimmed their spirits. With each word, they recognized their shared purpose, building a bridge across the uncertain waters ahead. They began to prepare, organizing themselves in pairs, gathering supplies, praying over maps as dusk fell once more. In the heart of this bustling assembly, Lily approached Mary once again. The girl's small hand reached for Mary's, sparking with innocence and determination. "I can sense more healing coming," she said, her voice unwavering yet sweet. "God told me to tell you that our journey is just beginning, and we must be strong. His power will go with us." Tears brimmed in Mary's eyes as she knelt beside Lily, embraced by a wave of love and promise. Could it be that a child bore such wisdom? In that moment, Mary believed deeply in the gift of pure faith. No longer was she a mere witness, she was a participant, set ablaze by the flame of divine purpose. Before they set off, Mary raised her voice. "Let us pray for guidance. Lord, make our steps firm as we embark on this holy mission. May we speak your words, heal as you have healed us, and bring light to the dark places." As their prayers intermingled, the church trembled with divine resonance. The atmosphere felt charged, the presence palpable. Hearts and hands connected, knitting a vision of what they would achieve together. The power was not just in the healing they sought to share, but in the unity that blossomed among them. As dawn approached again and the first rays kissed the earth, a rustle outside drew attention. The villagers looked towards the door, uncertainty creeping in. Who might be visiting at such an early hour? They gathered closer together, as if the unknown might beckon something wonderful or something daunting. What awaited them as they stepped from the light of the church into the morning shadows? Would they be ready to face the challenges ahead, to stand firm in the faith that had brought them together? In that moment, everything hung in divine possibility. The villagers exchanged anxious glances, their breath held tight in anticipation. When the door creaked open, the golden luster of dawn spilled into the church, mixing with the lingering fragrance of prayer and candles. A figure stood at the threshold, silhouetted against the rising sun. "Who goes there?" Pastor John called, stepping forward like a guardian of the sacred space. The figure shifted forward, revealing a woman draped in a threadbare cloak, her face weathered and lined with stories untold. The crowd murmured, compelled by the unexpected presence. "Forgive my intrusion," the woman began, her voice trembling like a fragile leaf in the wind. "I am Helen from the Hollow, Woods Village. We've heard whispers of the miracle that graced your midst, and I come not only seeking truth but healing." Mary's heart raced. The urgent sadness in the woman's eyes struck a chord deep within. "What troubles you, sister?" she gently asked, stepping closer. "Oh, I have lost so much," Helen lamented, tears glistening like morning dew on grass. "My family suffers under despair's heavy hand, sickness clings to us, and hope drips away like rain from a dried leaf. I've traveled far, believing that your grace might touch my home." The villagers listened intently, their resolve hardening. They knew no greater purpose than to extend the embrace of healing to those in need. Mary felt a fire ignite within her as she turned to the congregation, each face a reflection of determination. "Friends, this is why we gathered. This is our divine summons to go forth. Shall we?" "Indeed." The voices called out, swelling in unison, a tide of faith crashing against doubt. "We will go," shouted Jacob, his young eyes alight with fervor. "We'll take what we've received and share it with her people." A shiver of conviction surged through the air as the villagers rallied toward one another, encouraging and praying together. Mary led them in prayer for Helen and all her family in the hollow woods. Each word lifted their spirits like bread rising in the warmth of a sunlit kitchen. Lord, we ask for your healing. May our journey be paved with your love. Let us return to the shadows with the light you have given us. Mary's voice rang out, filled with passion and tenderness. The faith in that room shimmered like constellations in the night sky, fragile yet infinitely powerful. As their voices rose in a final prayer, a wave of peace flooded the room. A quiet assurance rested over them like a divine mantle, coalescing their individual hopes into a singular purpose. When they emerged into the daylight, Helen found herself wrapped in a cloak of newfound strength. Mary beamed at her. Lead us to your village, dear sister. We will not go empty-handed. With her heart and soul intertwined with the villagers, Helen set off, her footsteps light, bridged by faith. As they walked, the sun rose higher, casting long shadows behind them, a symbol of the burdens they carried and the promise of things to come. On the path to Hollow Woods, they encountered unexpected obstacles, thorny brambles blocking their way and whispering winds filled with doubt that tugged at their hearts. Yet amidst the struggles, they chose to confront each challenge united. In moments of despair, James, a beloved elder, shared stories of faith that fueled their strength, rallying their spirits like a steadfast lighthouse against crashing waves. Soon, they reached Hollow Woods, the village shrouded in fog and uncertainty. The quiet was deafening, punctuated only by the distant howl of wind through bare branches. Faces filled with exhaustion stared back at them from inside small houses, pallid and weary. Fear of failure threatened to grip Mary's heart, but she tightened her grip and pressed on, determined to share the balm of healing. Just as she took a step forward to speak, a shutter creaked open, and a little girl emerged from the shadows, her bright eyes piercing the gloom. "Are you here to heal us?" she asked, her voice as fragile as glass yet bursting with undeniable hope. Mary paused, a flicker in her heart igniting. Could it be that this child held the key to a greater revelation? The moment lingered in the air, a testament to the extraordinary unfolding before them. What awaited them next in this village of sorrow? Would they find the healing they so deeply craved, or was there something more profound God desired to reveal? The girl's gaze pierced through the mist of desolation, tethering the villagers' collective spirit. A wave of emotion washed over Mary as she knelt to meet the child's hopeful eyes. "Yes, dear one," she whispered. "We have come to heal you, to share God's love and grace." The little girl's face brightened like the first flower of spring, hope blooming in the shadowed village. "Will you help my mother? She is so sick." Her voice trailed off, but the weight of her words lingered like the scent of jasmine in the air. Mary straightened, heart heavy yet hopeful. "We will bring healing for her and for all who suffer," she assured. Inspired, the villagers stepped forward, their determination solidified. "Come, let us gather together," Jacob called out, extending his hand to invite the villagers into their embrace. "Together, we are stronger. Together, we can create a circle of hope." As hands intertwined, hearts synchronized, the villagers formed a circle around the little girl. They had turned a desolate moment into a sanctuary of faith, each soul contributing their strength. Mary looked around at the faces, a tapestry woven with hope, love, and shared sacrifice. "Let us pray," James encouraged, his voice resonating like a bell in the silence. "We ask for healing, for peace, for the burdens to be lifted." As they spoke, the air thickened with an unfathomable presence. It began gently, like a soft wind caressing their skin. Vibrations of faith surged through them, a sacred chorus rising as one towards the heavens. Each word became a supplication, echoing the yearning of every heart present, reverberating along the invisible waves of connection with a divine source. In the midst of fervent prayer, the little girl squeezed Mary's hand tightly. "What if it doesn't work?" she asked, vulnerability breaking through her brave facade. Mary's heart fluttered. She dared not dismiss her fears, yet she framed her response with utmost care. Sometimes, our prayers take different forms. Healing can mean many things. It might be physical, or it might be peace that soothes the spirit. Tears shimmered in the girl's eyes, and Mary wanted desperately to shield her from pain. What if healing didn't appear in the way they expected? A grave silence descended upon them, heavy with uncertainty. Yet, in that uncertain moment, an unmistakable light broke through the clouds above. Sunbeams pierced the fog, illuminating the path before them, sending glimmers of hope to every heart present. "Look," someone gasped, and all heads turned toward the light, eyes sparkling with wonder. Was this a sign? Would healing flow as they had prayed, or would this be a different type of light, a revelation of what lay beyond their expectations? As the villagers stood together in wonder, the trembling echoes of their shared faith reached for the infinite. Was this the divine mystery God was revealing to them? "Hear me, my friends," Mary proclaimed boldly, emboldened by the burgeoning light. "No matter what happens, we take all our hopes with us into these homes. We share not only the promise of healing, but also the promise of love." And as the villagers prepared to enter those sorrowful houses, a sense of destiny woven into their every step, a flutter of excitement tinged the air. What would happen when they knocked on those doors? What awaited them inside? Could it be that the healing extended beyond physical ailments? Did God have a grander story waiting to be unfolded, one that intertwined their destinies with this village's own? As they hesitated at the threshold of the first home, a multitude of possibilities loomed before them. What would they discover together in Haven Hollow, and how would their faith be transformed? With hearts pounding in anticipation, the villagers gathered around the worn door of the first house, its weathered timber telling tales of despair and hope mingled together. Mary reached out and gently knocked, the sound echoing like a heartbeat, resonating with their collective spirit. The door creaked open, revealing a frail woman leaning heavily against the frame. Her eyes, weary and dim, widened in surprise at the sight before her. "Who are you?" she whispered, taking in the gathering of strangers wrapped in light and love. "Dear one, we come bringing compassion," Mary replied, her voice tender yet firm. "We desire to share healing and God's love with you." The woman staggered slightly, the color draining from her cheeks. "Healing," she echoed, a flicker of hope igniting in her eyes. "My heart has been so burdened." The little girl stepped forward, eyes bright with worry. "Mama, we all prayed. Can you feel it?" Tears began to track down the mother's face as she clutched the doorframe for support. "I want to believe, but I am so sick. It has been so long." Mary felt the girl's small hand tighten around hers. "When we pray, we do so believing in what we cannot see. May we come in?" The woman nodded, opening the door wider. The villagers stepped inside the dimly lit room, filling it with their warmth and presence. In that space, each breath felt heavy with unspoken dreams and silent suffering. Mary could feel the weight of the world pressing upon them, yet amidst it all, there was an unmistakable glimmer of faith stirring. "Let us join together in prayer," James declared, and the group formed a circle in the small room, hands clasping one another tightly as they faced the fragile woman. Their voices rose like a wave, sincere and vibrant, asking for divine intervention, for healing that transcended the physical. As they prayed, an unusual peace enveloped the room. It was as if a cool breeze had swept through, refreshing their spirits. Mary opened her eyes to see the woman, whose face, once marked by shadows of despair, began to show signs of light breaking through. "I can feel something," the woman murmured, disbelief transforming to awe. "It's as if hope is wrapping around me." The villagers smiled at one another, feeling the palpable threads of connection weaving between them. Each prayer lifted not just for the woman but for each person gathered, intertwining their destinies. "Indeed it is. That hope is God's love, present and unyielding," Mary affirmed, her heart swelling with conviction. "You are never alone in this. Each of us stands in faith alongside you. Just then, a sudden commotion erupted outside the door. Villagers crowded at the threshold, faces alight with urgency. "Mary, come quickly. You must see." The group broke from their circle, concern etching their features. Mary felt a tug in her spirit as she instinctively knew this was significant. "What is happening?" she pressed, moving swiftly toward the door. As they all gathered outside, they were met with a sight that made every heart race. An ethereal glow radiated from the sky, illuminating a broken tree, now blooming miraculously with vibrant flowers. The villagers gasped, sensing the profound shift. Could this unexpected miracle signify a turning point for their collective journey? As awe took hold of them, whispers of divine possibility echoed, wrapping around them like a blanket of promise. "Let us pray to understand what this means," Mary urged, her eyes shimmering with wonder, turning back toward the gathering. Was this a message from above? As they bowed their heads together, a profound stillness fell, and in that sacred silence, a deeper mystery beckoned on the horizon. What message was meant to be revealed next, and how would it shape their journey ahead? In the hushed stillness, the villagers bowed their heads, their hearts aligned in prayer. They felt the cool breeze swirl around them, drawing them closer to the wonder of the moment. Each breath woven with an unspoken trust, they sought clarity from the heavens. Mary felt the warmth of the girl as small fingers interlacing with her own, grounding her amidst the unfolding mystery. "Lord," James began, his voice strong yet gentle, "we gather here, basking in your light. Show us the purpose of this miracle before our eyes. Let us perceive what it means for our hearts and our lives." As they prayed, the glow from the blooming tree intensified, pulsating like a heartbeat of divine energy. Mary opened her eyes slightly, still honoring the sacredness of the moment. The spectators stood in awe, faces reflecting wonder and apprehension. And then, as if in response to their earnest prayers, the flowers on the tree began to sway. A soft melody floated from the vibrant petals, wrapping around the villagers. Peaceful and rhythmic, it moved like a whisper through the air, enveloping their spirits. "This is no ordinary tree," one man murmured, leaning closer to witness the transformation. "Could it be the work of God's hand?" Mary nodded, her spirit stirred. Everything created carries a message. Let this beauty reveal something beyond our understanding. Just then, the little girl stepped forward, mesmerized by the spectacle. "The flowers! Look at their colors. Do you see how they shine in the light?" Her voice rang with childlike joy, echoing innocence and wonder. Indeed, the flowers glistened like jewels, each hue brighter than the last. Reds, purples, and golds merged in a breathtaking display, casting radiant reflections onto the villagers' faces. "It's a divine tapestry," Mary declared, her eyes glistening with tears of joy. "Each blossom is a message of healing, of restoration. God is reminding us that beauty can emerge from brokenness." Suddenly, the woman from inside the house stepped out, drawn by the enchanting melody and the spectacle of colors. Her eyes widened with disbelief and awe as she approached, standing beneath the blooming tree. And then, without warning, a light flickered, an ethereal glow descended from above, illuminating the woman. For a brief moment, time felt suspended as she stood bathed in divine radiance. Gasps filled the air. Mary felt her heart leap, sensing something sacred unfurl within that instant. The woman raised her hands, fingers trembling, as if beckoning the light to fill her soul. "God, is this truly for me?" she breathed, emotions washing over her. "Yes." Mary's voice rang out with conviction. "Embrace His love. Believe in this moment." As the village held its collective breath, the tree began to gently sway, petals falling like a soft rain, each landing upon the ground and into outstretched hands. The vibrant blooms carried whispers of healing, of hope reborn. In that moment, understanding dawned on them all. This miracle was not just for the woman, but for every heart longing to believe again. They were being invited to cultivate hope, to embrace healing in their lives, no matter how desperate their circumstances had once seemed. Yet beneath the wonder, a lingering curiosity crackled in the air. What more was hidden in this moment? As the last person to catch a falling petal held it tight, Mary took a step back, wonder coursing through her. "Let us carry this miraculous experience with us," she said, her voice steady yet filled with awe. "Let it guide our journey ahead." With her heart still racing, she pondered what lay beyond the glow of the tree. Would there be further revelations? Would God whisper new dreams into their hearts? As the villagers rejoiced, a sacred silence enveloped the air once more, waiting expectantly for what was yet to come. What else might the heavens reveal as they continued their journey of faith and hope? As the last of the petals fell, each one like a soft promise, the villagers turned to one another with eyes full of wonder. Hearts, once encased in shadows, were now alight with hope and anticipation. Mary felt that spark flicker within her. It was the same light she believed could banish fear. What had begun as a prayer for understanding had blossomed into an opportunity for something far greater, a call to transformation. "Look at the woman," a voice chimed, breaking the awe. They turned to see her still standing beneath the tree, arms raised high. The glow enveloped her as if she had become a vessel of divine possibility. "Can you feel it?" she exclaimed, her voice rising with excitement. "This is not just beauty, it's a promise. A promise of healing, a promise of new life." Her words ricocheted off the walls of their hearts, echoing the wonder weaving through the air. Mary stepped closer, her hands resting gently on the child's shoulders. "Together, we must embrace this gift," she encouraged, her voice steady. "Each of us carries our burdens, but in this moment, we can leave them at the foot of this miraculous tree." The villagers looked to one another, uncertainty flickering in their eyes. It was easier to hold on to their pain than to let it go. Mary sensed their hesitance and took a deep breath, tapping into the well of courage that had stirred within her. "Sometimes, the hardest steps lead to the greatest freedoms," she reminded them. "Could we dare to believe that we are worthy of healing?" One by one, they began to step forward, drawn by the beauty of what lay before them. They grasped the fallen petals, feeling the warmth seep into their palms as the tree continued to hum its gentle melody. A shared energy filled the air, weaving through their collective prayers as they released their pasts into the universe. "I give my fears to you, Lord," one elder declared. "Release me from the weight of my memories." "I lay down my doubts," another echoed, fervently clutching a petal as if it were a lifeline. With each heartfelt confession, the melody from the tree surged higher, becoming a chorus of liberation. The air shimmered with a sacred presence, embracing their trembling souls. In the midst of this, Mary closed her eyes, letting the moment wash over her. She prayed silently that this transformation would be permanent, an awakening that would bloom forth into every corner of their lives. Yet, within that sacred space, a voice out of the ordinary emerged. It was a man from the back of the gathering, known for his skepticism. What if this is just a fleeting moment? What if, tomorrow, we wake up and the world is as it was before? His voice, brimming with doubt, cast a shadow on the radiant hope surrounding them. The crowd quieted, the music of the tree fading slightly as they held their breath. Mary faced the man, her heart urging her to respond. "Doubt is part of faith's journey," she said softly. "But what if this moment is a divine invitation? A chance to see beyond our circumstances?" A hushed murmur rippled among them, each villager weighing the tension between belief and skepticism, light and darkness. As they contemplated, the wind began to dance around the tree, and a new color burst forth among the leaves of vivid blue, unlike the others. It shimmered as though it held secrets yet untold. "What does it mean?" someone whispered, eyes wide. Mary felt a fresh surge of hope. Could it be a sign? A clue that we are not at the end of our revelation? What have we yet to discover? With that, the villagers leaned in, eager for what was to unfold. The tree continued to glow, now pulsing with rhythm and life. What awaited them as they stepped deeper into divine mystery? What more would the heavens reveal in their ongoing journey of faith and transformation? As the vibrant blue leaves rustled gently in the wind, an electric hush fell over the gathering. Mary's heart raced, not from fear but from an overwhelming sense of anticipation. The questions held tenderly in the air felt like a sacred invitation to dive deeper into the unknown.
Look!
A young girl shouted, pointing towards the tree. The villagers turned their eyes, gasping at the sight. Dappled lights flickered among the leaves, casting a blue hue over the ground as if the earth itself was adorned with heavenly jewels. In that moment, the world seemed alive, pulsating with divine energy.
What are we meant to understand?
The skeptical man asked again, this time with a tremble in his voice. Doubt lingered in his tone, but alongside it, a flicker of curiosity. Mary could see it the shift within him. If our hearts open wide enough, we may begin to perceive the whispers of Goddess love, Mary replied, her voice steady yet vulnerable. Each moment calls us to awaken to our true purpose. Perhaps this tree is a bridge, guiding us toward what we need most. The villagers exchanged glances, their eyes reflecting light and hope. Each heart swayed gently between belief and skepticism, but the soft pull of longing drew them closer. One by one, they reached out not just for the petals but for each other. Their hands clasped together, weaving a tapestry of shared faith. I feel warmth in my heart, an elderly woman spoke softly, her voice trembling with emotion. I let go of the sorrows that have held me captive. Today, I am ready to see life as beauty unfold. As she spoke, the air thickened with a tangible presence. It was as if the tree itself embraced them, wrapping its branches around their hopes and fears. Mary felt the energy shift. The once question-heavy air now crackled with possibility. Beneath the tree, a soft glow grew brighter. Mary noticed the villagers drawing closer, encircling the trunk as though compelled by an invisible force. Together, they whispered their truths, uncoupling years of pain from their spirits. I am more than my struggles, another voice rose up, bold and sincere. Today, I reclaim my joy. With that declaration, the tree shimmered with an even more brilliant light, illuminating the faces of those gathered. An inexplicable peace settled over them like a warm embrace. Tears flowed freely as burdens turned to blossoms, spirit weights transformed into wings of freedom. The world outside faded, leaving only this sacred moment an oasis within their tumultuous lives. Mary stepped back slightly, allowing the communal atmosphere to envelop her as well. She could hardly contain her own joy. She had witnessed the exchange of anguish for grace, a miracle unfolding right before her. And in this moment of beauty, the vibrant blue leaves began to swirl, dancing briskly, as if to a rhythm only they could perceive. The villagers laughed and cried together, swaying with the luminous foliage. They were woven into a divine tapestry, stitched with threads of faith and stubborn hope. But just as the air began to feel almost palpable with joy, another whisper emerged from the shadows, cutting through the delight. What if this doesn't last? The murmurs silenced once more. The initial stirrings of belief wavered under this new question. Mary looked around, feeling the tumult rise again, but she refused to surrender to the heaviness. I believe, she declared fiercely. We are here, together, through every question and doubt. This moment is not the end, it's a beginning. We get to shape our story moving forward. With renewed determination, Mary turned to the tree, feeling its power surge through the ground beneath her feet. And what if this is just the beginning of something miraculous? The villagers leaned closer, anticipation electrifying the air. The world, with all its uncertainty and doubt, seemed to dim in that glowing sanctuary. What divine wonders awaited them next? What profound revelations still lingered, ready to be uncovered? The tree pulsed with life, beckoning them forward into yet another chapter of their shared journey. As the villagers hovered around the vibrant blue leaves, the atmosphere shifted once more, charged with a potent mix of excitement and trepidation. Mary's heart swelled with hope. Could this truly be a new beginning? The air around them shimmered, alive with the promise of things yet to unfold. The tree stood taller and brighter, its branches seeming to arch and sway as if it were stretching toward the heavens. What comes next? She thought, her heart trembling with anticipation. Was this miraculous encounter merely an invitation? An inner whisper moved through the crowd as they drew closer, each face illuminated by the soft glow surrounding them. The little girl stepped forward again, eyes sparkling with unfiltered wonder. "Can we ask the tree what it wants us to know?" she suggested, the innocence of her voice carrying a weight of wisdom. Mary beamed at the girl, the brightness of her spirit urging the villagers to embrace this moment. "What if we open our hearts and listen?" Mary proposed, squeezing the girl's hand. The villagers, caught up in the moment's magic, each closed their eyes, surrendering their doubts to the divine. "Lord, speak to us," Mary led, her voice resonating with passion. "Reveal your purpose. We are here, all of us, hearts open wide." As they stood enveloped in their hopes and prayers, a soft wind began to whirl around them. The branches swayed gently, and suddenly, the tree released a cascade of petals, each one glowing with an ethereal light. They twinkled like stars as they floated down, a hand of grace reaching out to touch the villagers. A collective gasp arose as the shower of luminescent petals enveloped them, wrapping them in feelings of warmth and serenity. The soft light shimmered, as if revealing long-hidden paths within their hearts. Mary's spirit surged, feeling a sense of renewal fill her being. One villager spoke aloud, "I feel courage like I've never known." Another added, "I sense the burdens shedding away." Joyous murmurs rippled through the group, echoing the transformation taking root in their hearts. Mary lifted her gaze to the tree, which now seemed alive, its trunk pulsating with energy. "What shall we do next, God?" she whispered, the words tumbling from her lips in sacred reverence. The villagers leaned closer, caught in the magnetic spell of the unfolding moment, eager for whatever lay ahead. In the distance, a faint voice broke through the harmonizing whispers of the crowd. It was the man known for his skepticism, yet today, he stepped forward, eyes wide with newfound hope. "I doubted, but now, I can't ignore this. Whatever this is, it is real. We can go forth. We can share this." Mary felt a thrill run through her. His declaration was a testament to the change stirring in all of them. Yes, let us be vessels of this miraculous love. We can spread hope and healing far beyond ourselves. She encouraged, her voice rising as excitement unfolded like the petals around them. The villagers, now emboldened, began to join hands, their skepticism washed away by floods of faith. They formed a circle, a chain of love and divine connection that stretched far and wide. Light filled the air, a celebration of trust that fused their hearts as one. Emboldened by this display of unity and purpose, they took to the path forward, stepping from the lush radiance into the solemn beauty of hollow woods. Together, they marched, spirits high and hearts intertwined, each footprint resonating with purpose, a promise to carry this message of hope wherever they ventured. As they walked, the path ahead twisted and turned, revealing the unexpected, yet not one soul faltered. In that journey through uncertainty, laughter mingled with new conversations, and stories of pain transformed into shared tales of joy. They breathed life back into the village, lighting fires in places long extinguished. As evening fell, they arrived at the cottages nestled in hollow woods, where despair had lingered. Mary knocked at the first door, her heart steady. "We come in faith, offering you Goddess love and healing." The door creaked slowly open, revealing weary faces softened by hope. As the villagers poured their hearts into each home, light shone from within, light that resonated deeply, revealing the miracles at work in both the giver and the recipient. And it was in that moment, as the gentle glow of laughter and love filled the air, they understood. It was not just about the miraculous transformation of the sick, but the healing of the spirit, the revival of the communal heart. Mary felt gratitude swell within her, burgeoning into a profound understanding. The journey toward healing was layered, and ever-expanding the ethos of their mission, now woven together like threads of a beautiful tapestry. With hearts aglow and spirits emboldened, they set out further, spreading joy and healing like seeds sown in fertile soil. Wherever they went, hope began to blossom anew. And as they journeyed, the tree continued to flourish behind them, a symbol of the miracles still to come. For every heart touched, the light expanded, strengthening their ties, magnifying their strength, and guiding their steps as the manifestation of divine love rippled through each soul. With passion igniting their paths ahead, they marched onward, a collective journey of faith marked by transformative love and unyielding hope. Now, dear friends, this is your call. You need to subscribe now to our channel for the next extraordinary faith stories that will inspire your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let others witness the power of testimony. Comment below to share your reactions and testimonies about the miraculous ending. We want to hear your stories of hope. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of love. True servants of God understand the importance of supporting this channel. This is the moment to show your support. Join us as we continue this incredible journey together.